Good morning to all my friends on the Wet Shaver Review. It's Aaron Schechter from 365shaves.com and obviously the Wet Shaver Review. This morning I am actually going to be giving a little tutorial lesson. One of the members actually private messaged me this morning and is having a little bit of a problem with ingrown hairs. And a lot of the newer wet shavers, when you're getting into this hobby, into this lifestyle, into this way of traditionally shaving your face and getting a better quality shave and enjoyment out of your shave, one of the first things that really we should be doing is not running over to your local brick and mortar wet shaving supply or going online and just grabbing any random razor. The first thing we should do, honestly, is go and get yourself something called a beard map. Looks a lot like this. I'm going to get it as close as I can so it makes sense, okay? Basically what it is, it's a quadrant view of some guy probably from 1910's face that, was laying in a barber's chair. And, they were smart enough to draw quadrants on the gentleman's face and say, which way does the hair grow? Which way does the follicle actually penetrate the epidermal layer and actually the hair actually go? Does it go down? Does it go to the right? Swirling motions. And what this does is it allows you to make an educated decision in which way to maneuver your razor for each pass, whether it be with the grain, across the grain, against the grain. Today, actually on Mustache and Blade, there's going to be or it might not be coming out today, but I know that there's an interview coming soon with something called method shaving. I know a little bit about it. It's different from what I'm about to talk to you about though, so don't get the two confused. This is not method shaving. This is called beard mapping, okay? Now, really simple. What you want to do is you want to stand in front of a mirror, preferably a magnified mirror. Magnified mirrors will bring out every single imperfection in your face, and you'll want to run and hide, like the Phantom of the Opera, and run up someplace in the attic and never come out. But what it will do for you is it'll allow you to actually get a really good view of how the follicle and how the hair actually is directionally orientating itself on your face. What you're going to come up with then, and I did my own face, I've done this many moons ago, but I still have it, and I'll try to actually get into the camera, and you can see I drew arrows all over this beard map, and you'll see some that are going down, some that are going to the right. You'll see on my cheeks and on my mustache area and on my chin, you'll see a lot of downs. And on my neck area, you'll see some downs and some going from west to east in the direction of the arrow actually pointing. When you actually do your beard map, you're going to actually map it with the grain, meaning the direction of the hair growth itself. That is your with the grain pass. That should always be, actually I shouldn't say it should always be, but preferably, traditionally, it should be your first pass, is always with the grain. In school, when you're going to either a barber school or you're going to become an esthetician, say it removes roughly about 80% of the actual length of the hair itself. So a lot of people can get away with just doing a with the grain pass. When you do that with the grain pass, like you've just beard mapped for yourself, okay, you can then either just say, hey, I'm comfortable with my with the grain pass, which is usually considered what we would call in the wet shaving forums or groups or whatever, we call that an SAS, a socially acceptable shave. Something where it's not looking like, you're a Sasquatch out there in the wild looking for a mate, so to speak. But you're able to go out into the public and you're able to look socially acceptable, yet you're not baby butt smooth. You're not feeling, you know, slick skin, no pull in any which direction, you're not going to feel that with just a with the grain pass. At least never in my experience, and no one I've ever known in real life has ever experienced that. So now let's put this actually into a little bit more use, and I'll do my best here because I just had surgery on my shoulder, and I'm trying my best to not use the sling I'm supposed to be in. Hope my doctor doesn't watch this. So once you've done your with the grain pass following your beard mapping, okay, your second pass is usually an across the grain pass, okay? So once again, I'm going to get close in with this. Now, let's look at your face, okay? You see how I have this in a downward or a north-south orientation on my cheeks, on my chin, right below my lower lip. Your across the grain is either going to be, okay, and you could have multiple, you know, blanks of this beard map. I recommend you do all three, especially if you're really new to this. And you'll do your across the grain. For some people, your across the grain where I'm running north-south for my with the grain, my across the grain is actually going from west to east. For some of you, your across the grain may be from east to west. That's traditionally, and it's usually, by the way, opposite on the opposite side of your face. I've learned that a lot of times with a lot of people, that your across the grain is actually polar opposites on both sides of your face. It's not always going to mirror itself. So what holds true on this side doesn't always hold true on this side, or even on the same side. Just the way it is. So after you're with the grain, using your beard map, you get out your second beard map, do your across the grain. That right there will give you what's called, probably most people will call a DFS, or a damn fine shave, or darn, if you want to get, you know, if you don't want to use that word. But a dignified shave, that sounds nice to me. You're going to have a dignified shave, diplomatic shave. Basically, that right there will remove 90% of anything that's going on in your face. Visually, no one will be able to tell the difference between a BBS and a DFS, to be quite honest. A lot of people stop on that second pass because they don't want to create that irritation that comes along with skin sensitivities and going against the grain. Now, me personally, and I actually, in my 365 shaves, shave of the day, which I'm just as long-winded in those as I am in this video right now, is I actually posted that I did something that I don't ever do. And I mean, when I say ever, I mean I've maybe done it 2 or 3 times in all the years I've been shaving, is I did not do an against the grain pass. I had a little bit of irritation the day before, and I decided I'm going to do what my skin, I'm not going to dictate to my skin what I'm going to do. I'm going to let my skin dictate to me what I need to do, which is a better way to look at things. Let your skin give you that feedback that you do what it wants you to do, not what you want it to do. Granted, we all want that BBS. We want to be able to take a cotton ball, run it across the grain. Notice how I just ran my hand, that's my across the grain. And we want to get no cotton, completely smooth. We want that to be beautiful. But we can't always have that. Sometimes we look better without it. But let's say we're going to do an against the grain. The easiest way to do an against the grain is not even to do a third beard map. Just take that original with the grain beard map and just go in the opposite direction. It's very simple. Just go in the opposite direction. That's against the grain. When you do your against the grain pass, as with all your passes, no pressure, or as little pressure as possible. This holds starkly true, though, to the against the grain pass. If you're going to hurt yourself, or the epidermal layer of your skin, or you're going to rip out a hair instead of actually cut it, it's going to happen on this pass. So when you do your against the grain pass, in my case, For example, on my neck, I actually run from west to east on the middle to lower portion and north to south on the upper portion right under my chin. So when I'm going against the grain, I start on the east side of my neck and I run it in a westerly fashion until I get down to right around here, and then I'm running south to north for my against the grain. Same thing holds true on this side, east to west against the grain, followed by a south to north, and here followed by a south to north, going upwards under my chin all the way around. That will give me, with years of experience, it probably wouldn't even take years of experience, a couple weeks, months, years, everyone's different, of experience, that against the grain pass, you can get a baby butt smooth. And I just had, well, I didn't have, but my wife just had a baby, and our son is only a month and a half old, and I can tell you, I think my month and a half year old baby is jealous of what I could do sometimes with my skin. And you know, we play a little daddy's goatee, and usually I wear this as a handlebar. Today I'm being a little bit lazy on a Saturday morning. Don't have that, I just kind of combed it out. So anyway, on that note, before you go out and even buy your first razor, to prevent ingrown hairs, to prevent irritation, redness, to prevent aggravation and feelings of failure, or that you made a decision that was not in your best interest by going with traditional wet shaving, let's all do something smart. It's time to get educated in the wet shaving world. We live in the information age, and it's time that we start educating each other and that we start learning from each other the proper way to do things. So before you even spend a dime, if you just go on Google, search beard mapping, you will come up with an image that looks just like this, Click on the picture, hit print. It's that simple. Hit print if you have a printer, and draw this. If you don't have a printer, draw a circle. Kind of make your own little drawing of your face, map it out, but always look in that mirror. Be honest with yourself. Don't go easy on yourself and just say, okay, north-south means that's my width of grain, left-right means across the grain, up and down means against the grain. That's not always true. It's actually 99% of the time not true. So before you go out and spend a dime, waste a couple pieces of printer paper, waste about a half hour of your time. It's actually not a waste. You're actually investing in your skincare and your shave techniques. Print out 2 pages, take a couple minutes of your time, do some beard mapping. After you do that, then hit up some of your favorite sites, or better yet, support your brick and mortar if you have one. Get out there and pick yourself up a great shaving cream or soap. Pick yourself up a blade sampler pack. Don't limit yourself to one. Try as many as you possibly can. Pick yourself up. I would always recommend starting with a mild razor, something like Mercury 34 C, or something similar to like Edwin Jagger DE89, or Moulet R89. Those are all really good solid choices to start out with, because don't be the bad boy. Don't grab that R41 and say I'm going to go to town with it on your first shave. Sometimes the newer guys like to say, you know, I want the biggest, most bad, you know the rest of the phrase, razor out there, and that's what I'm going to start with. Don't set yourself up for failure. Beard mapping 101. Hope that helped you guys. Have a joyous weekend. Here in New York it's raining. I'm stuck inside. I'm about to go get my shave on. Hope you all have a good time getting your shaves on. Take it easy.